stuffy little office in West Covina, California, it's the Foohouse Show! Hey, what is up, everybody? I am Josie.
And I'm Josh.
Thank you all very much for listening to the Foohouse Show. Thank you for downloading the pod on most major podcast apps, subscribing, and telling a friend like a champ. You can always reach us at Foo Bar Show. That's FOOBarshow.com. And FOO Bar Show is our handle on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, and Instagram. Check us out. Drop us a line and we'll foo it up like a couple of foos. Ain't that right, Foo? All right. I'll take it. On tap today, we have another Foohouse podcast with the Foo and Steph. Say hi, guys.
Yo. What's up, my dudes?
What's cracking, man? What's new?
Shit.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to catch you off guard, Foo.
You didn't think he was going to get the third degree, man. You need
Jesus
to chill.
Christ.
I know, man. What's up with all the questions?
Well, today I wanted to start off. I know that this airs on a Friday, but we record this on Tuesday, and today is September 11th.
Yes, sir.
2018. I wanted to just touch up on it because it's been 17 years now since that shit went down in New York, and I just wanted to quickly talk about it, reflect on it, where we are as individuals, and first off, maybe just talk about where you were when you first heard about the terrorist attack, because it was about, you correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't it like 9 a.m. in New York when it happened, when it went down? So it was relatively, it was probably like in 6:30 here, give or take.
Most of us were either getting up, getting ready for school.
Here in
it was like about 6:30
time.
before.
It was
7.
like 6:30 when everything happened, and we didn't know what was happening for almost an hour.
Yeah,
yeah.
And then the next one.
I was getting ready for school, so we can go around first. Josh, like, what do you remember from like when it was first going down?
Well, I remember waking up, and first thing that comes on obviously is K-Rock, and they're kind of talking about something going on. So I get up to go shower before school, and I see my dad in the living room standing in front of the TV. So then I shower, I get ready, and then I go, and then you see it on the news. The first tower was struck, by a plane. Plane hit the Twin Towers.
At this point, the second tower hadn't
been hit yet. Uh-huh. So I'm like sitting there getting ready. I'm like, oh shit, like, Dad, what does this mean? Like, what's going on? Like, I had no idea what was happening. Mm-hmm. And so then all of a sudden, boom, you see the next plane come in, and bam.
And that one was live on air.
That one was live on air.
The cameras were already rolling by then.
When that happened, I was just in shock. Like,
what the fuck?
What the fuck? Like, should we go to school? Like, Dad, like, I don't want to go to school. Like, are we in danger? It's like, what's going on? And my dad's like, no, just gotta go to school, no matter what. So we were going to school, and, everyone's just like, what the fuck's going on? Like, dude, we're going to go to war. We're going to go to war. Like, this is the first act of war. My buddy Carlos, who's now in the Army, was like, dude, we're going to war. This totally means we're going to war. He's like, get ready. We may even get drafted. And I was just freaking out. Like, what the
That's not what you want to
hear.
hear.
A lot of people were like that.
A lot of people were like that.
Yeah, no, well, I remember.
Yeah,
we'll get to me, but so what happened?
So I was just freaking out, and then finally we went to class, and, they had the news on all day. All day in every class the news was on. I really didn't go over much curriculum until one of my teachers was just like, all right, look, I know we're all scared. I know this is just unnatural. We've been protected for so long, but you know what? We're okay. Like, nothing's going to happen here. Nothing has happened here. We're fine. The government's going to take care of us. We'll be okay.
Trying to be optimistic.
But then, as things went
still on edge, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very jarring and very life-changing experience, I would say, because I was more terrified after that happened. And, yeah, it was intense.
Yeah, what about you, Foo? Where were you at?
Well, they didn't announce it until we were like in our second period.
Oh,
at my middle school, yeah.
So so you had no idea.
Yeah, and we were like in the middle of.
So this
class.
is what do you think? 9 o'clock Pacific time by this time, 9 or 10.
Pacific time, it was about like 8:30, 8:45.
Oh, okay.
Second period, really?
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
We had a weird schedule in my middle school.
Okay.
Some days we would like only do class for half an hour, then do hour and a half the other class, shit like that. But yeah, we were in the class and like I was in I don't even remember what grade I was in. 7th grade at the time.
You're a year younger than I, so you were in 8th grade.
I was in 7th grade.
So you're 2 years younger than I.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
You're
Okay.
an old piece of shit.
Earth years.
Only in school years, yes.
Okay.
You know how school years can different. But anyways.
Right.
We were in the 8th grade classroom, and I only remember because the teacher, she was the vice principal too, and she announced it, and everyone got super sad. And she's like, "You guys just put your head down," and we put our head down for like 2.5 hours.
Jesus.
Yeah, so I fell asleep.
Of course. I mean, what else are you gonna do?
Yeah, I mean, just a bunch of kids there.
Right.
She just told us to pray because I went to a Catholic middle school.
Uh-huh.
So,
Oh, okay.
yeah, so that was where I was, and I didn't understand it. And my parents were like, "Oh fuck, we need to."
Kind of explain to you what's going on.
And then they did, and they were like, "This doesn't mean shit over here, but you should just know what's going on."
Right. Well, I mean, it could mean shit.
It could.
And it did eventually for everyone. What about you, Steph? Where were you when it all went down?
I was just waking up for school. It was similar to Josh's situation. I woke up and I found my mom. She was on the couch and she was just crying. And at first, I didn't even look at the TV. I thought like something happened to one of our family members. And then she's just like, "Look." And I look at the TV and it was one of the towers had been hit. I'm just like,
Yeah.
That was the first time I actually felt afraid of like an invasion.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because somebody had come onto our
Yeah.
land.
Yeah.
Other than that, being freshmen in high school, I'm just gonna be afraid of like somebody trying to jack our car or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But
Getting beat up after school or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but the whole like real life situation that can actually
Some real
happen. Like
shit.
at this point, we had only been learning about prior history in textbooks,
Yeah.
and to actually see something
Yeah, you
that
hadn't
historic.
been learning current governments at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
And
yeah.
oh my god,
Right.
it's life changing. Everybody that lives through it knows where they were, and it's just something that they'll always remember.
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely.
Well, with me, I was waking up to go to school. I had just gotten out of the shower. I just gotten dressed. Mind you, it's September, so like not many weeks have gone by of freshman year. Steph and I are the same age, so we were both freshmen. We didn't go to the same schools though, but I'm in a new school. I'm amongst a bunch of friends or new people that would eventually become my friends. But I get up. My dad, he's just like, "Dude, like something's happening in New York." And I already see the smoke coming out of that first tower, and I'm like, "Oh shit, that's the World Trade Center." The only point of reference that I had to know what the hell the World Trade Center was because of The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Because of that episode of The Simpsons when Homer goes to get his car that gets towed or whatever the fuck when Barney leaves it over in front of the World Trade Center.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm just like, I know where that is. I saw that on The Simpsons, so I know where that is. So the first tower's already burning up.
Wait, that's really your only reference to the World Trade Center?
When I was a freshman in high school, yeah, I mean, I had no other reason to talk about the World Trade Center. You know, it was
That's
just my
funny.
point of reference. I was like, oh shit, that's what was on The Simpsons for that episode that they did not show on TV for many years after that, which is, I don't know, weird to me. But it's a
I think it's
decision
because
Fox made.
I think it's just a sensitive issue that I want to bring up.
So I get up and then I go grab my backpack and then out of nowhere my dad's like, "Oh shit!" And then that's when
the next one
hit. And so I go there and they're obviously like replaying it.
Yeah.
I didn't see it live, but I heard my dad's reaction to it.
Yeah.
And I run out and sure enough both towers are burning up and a few minutes later, the whole thing just starts coming down.
Yeah.
They all start coming down, pancaking, and it was a surreal experience. And just like Steph said, it was the only real time that I felt fear of getting invaded. And not only that, but and I think that's probably the one and only time in my life where I found everybody of any walk of life living within this country's borders kind of be on the same side and just like actually establish some kind of brotherhood, which is kind of fucked up when you think about it, that something like that has to happen for us to all come together and unite as a fucking people.
I
mean, considering what's going on right now with every little fucking thing that
happening in the news,
we're so divided. And And yeah, I'm going to school. It sucks, but like, you know, my Middle Eastern buddies or acquaintances that are there,
that was tough.
they're getting shit on, and I'm just like, guys, that's not fair, man. We're all here. What the fuck? You know, they're getting bullied and shit. So me and my friends that, you know, that were hanging out at that time, we were just kind of like, dude, like, trying to stick up for these guys. And
Yeah.
it's like they had nothing to do with this. Like, leave them alone.
Yeah, I mean, I had a similar situation too at my high school, where a kid, like an Indian kid, not even a Arab kid,
Right.
He was from Bangladesh. It was his first time. Like, if he had only been here for a few years before then, he left the school, like after that year, because like he was getting bullied and people started picking on him and stuff, and like he would hang out with us, and I would like kind of keep people away from him, but he only had like one class with me, so I didn't, you know, I couldn't keep him safe all the time.
Yeah.
So it's like, damn, dude, that sucks, man. And it's fucked up. A lot of people like that were Arab or, you know, of any type of Middle Eastern descent were getting.
Yeah, even like they would be afraid to even speak in their own language with their family members in public because they were gonna get shit on.
Or wear their sarabs when, you know, when they're walking out, like especially like the Muslim girls. It's like, it sucks, dude, because I knew a lot of people that would be dicks and throw shit at them. It's like, dude, they're
Like,
fucked up, man.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not their fault.
Yeah, the first couple of years after that, the aftermath of just being hit and being afraid.
It got ugly.
Yeah.
It got ugly.
It got really bad.
One
terrible.
One of the things that stood out was I was a big fan of the WWF back then.
Yep.
And I'm just like, shit, what's gonna go down on SmackDown this week? Like, what? And dude, that's all they were talking about in between like commercial breaks. Like, The Rock would come out and say something about it. Stone Cold came out. Undertaker, who hardly ever talked back then,
he
came out and said something.
Well, he came out as the American Badass. The American
Badass,
with the motorcycle and all that shit. Like everyone,
that's crazy.
Like that's when patriotism like started like like becoming big again.
Right.
So like they used to jump on that shit. But yeah, I mean,
then we got back to normal when we got into a quagmire of a war, and then everybody kind of went their own separate political lines, and you know, back to where we were. And now we just have more strict TSA restrictions and shit like that.
It's it's funny because you know how they always say history repeats itself, but it really does. Like if you look at how everything has happened with the Iraq War starting with Bush. Kind of similar to what happened with Hoover, I believe it was, or Woodrow Wilson leading up with FDR. FDR would be like the Obama equivalent, and then to fuck up the era, so to speak. You get the Nixon type of president with Trump.
I see what you're saying.
I'm seeing more like in that type of cycle.
So like they had their Pearl Harbor back then.
They had their Pearl Harbor back then. That was the catalyst, and then now we have our own Watergate going on.
It's weird, man. It's a time to be alive right now. I mean, we've come a long way as a people, but at the same time, we're somewhat primitive in the way we kind of act or react when something like something big like this happens.
And it's become very much more reactive and very much let's overprotect people or let's be more politically correct
right. And you're gonna get your conspiracy theorists saying, "Oh, this was a planned event.
CIA did all of this."
Yeah,
just like the CIA killed JFK.
Yeah, they would argue that that this was done so that they could take away some of our liberties and things like that, just because everybody's afraid. So they're gonna trade in some of the some liberties for some securities.
I don't know. Some of those theories sometimes they sound kooky, but sometimes they kind of make
hold some weight.
They hold some weight sometimes,
depending on who's saying it.
The world may never know, man.
Yeah, dude. I didn't want to start the podcast with a little bit of a bummer,
but you went there.
But I went ahead and did it there, Foo.
My high is done.
Yeah. So, but we'll talk about it again next year, probably in a different light. But I just wanted to observe this day. It's a day that hit our generation pretty fucking hard.
It's a day of remembrance. Everyone has to remember. It is a day of remembrance. We got to remember those that were lost, those that did sacrifice themselves, like the flight. What is it? Flight 193.
That hit in Pennsylvania.
That hit in Pennsylvania.